say, walking through these halls, I've never seen more enthusiasm and more excitement for where Marvel Comics is going this year. Not since Marvel Now have we had such an overarching line-wide change of talent on the Marvel Comics line.
New fresh ideas, new fresh creators really are taking that perspective, which is if you haven't read a comic before, if you're an old lapsed fan and you want to come back, it's a perfect opportunity to do it, because these stories, as I say, they start at start and they're great jumping off points.
You serious?
So Marvel announced recently that they are relaunching their comics, and everything will be getting a new #1 and new creative teams and all that good stuff. And I find it very weird because it's only been, I figured with Marvel Legacy, which is their current thing right now, that would be the last time they'd have to relaunch, reboot, new lineup, any of that. I figured that, I obviously knew nothing was going to change with Marvel Legacy. It's obvious at this point nothing was going to change. They were just trying to copy off the success of Rebirth. I figured that Legacy would have lasted at least a year before they decided to relaunch again. And this is what, the seventh time now in 4 years that they've pulled something like this. But no, they waited 5 months. 5 months, and now they're just pulling this crap again because Legacy was a rush job and it hadn't been selling well. I don't pick up Marvel, but I know something's wrong with what they're doing. And you don't have to be a comic book reader to know that relaunching a line of comics 7 times in 4 years is not a good thing. But my thoughts on Marvel Fresh Start, well, I don't have many thoughts on it. I saw the group shot and I'm amazed that they actually put four mutants and even the Thing from the Fantastic Four in this. So I guess Marvel got over that crap, and they actually are starting to give a damn about mutants and Fantastic Four to a degree now. So that's nice. Also, not having any of the Inhuman Royal Family was such a sight to see. Sorry, my throat's I've been sick lately, and well, I've been feeling better, but I still have some stuff to deal with. But going back to what I was saying, Kamala was like, I don't mind Kamala. I heard her original run was pretty good. But what I'm saying is the fact that, honestly, and all these people, all the SJWs at Marvel are going they're making a big deal on Twitter and a big hoopla on Twitter about oh, people don't like our SJW agenda characters, or some of them being SJW agenda characters. They don't like them, blah blah blah. Honestly, they need to stop going and being on Twitter and just starting Twitter wars and calling being mean to their fans, saying rude, vulgar things to their fans, and they have. One of the supposed SJW writers at Marvel told somebody to eat their bottom. I'll keep that clean. They said about eating that, which was what the F. Dan Slott, I'm surprised hasn't been fired yet after he told a fan once that he gave the fan a taste of the harassment. My problem with Marvel is the fact that just last year, despite all of the bullshit that they'd been doing with this new, I was really happy that X-Men, that they were finally doing a big lineup of comics with the X-Men after all this bullshit's been going on, especially after everything with all the crap that the Inhumans might be replacing them. But of their lineup of comics, one comic that I was interested in again, merely because I thought the lineup of characters was interesting, was the recent Astonishing X-Men comic. I figured I'd pick it up, I'll read it, and honestly, both comic book shops that I go to, after issue 2 came out, for whatever reason, they never got any of the other issues in. So I only have issues 1 and 2, and issues 3, 4, 5, 6, I think they're up to issue 8 now. I can't find them. So I'm like, they should stop starting crap on Twitter, and they should focus on what books they're gonna freaking release in their comic book stores. If they can't even do that right, then something's wrong with them. If they're focusing on their political SJW whatever agendas instead of just releasing the damn comic book, then there's gonna be problems. I don't think a lot has been mentioned about Marvel Fresh Start right now. I guess that's the name of this recent reboot. One thing that they said was that everything's going to be new #1, so honestly, Legacy with their original renumberings, I knew that was just going to be a marketing scheme, but that was just going to be I knew it wasn't going to stick. I knew they were going to find some way to weasel their way out of it and do new #1s again. I knew it. And honestly, it's like them going back down to new #1s again. Like, they're not even having a decent run of comics. They do like 16 issues of a comic and then boom, back to new #1. And many of the recent runs in the past few years, even of popular comics, have had 16 issues, and they've either been canceled or they've been gone back down to new #1. I actually found it very surprising that the writer, when the Kate Bishop, I think it was the Kate Bishop Hawkeye comic, or maybe it was the Clint Barton, I don't know, it was a recent Hawkeye comic that got canceled. The writer was saying that she was so proud and so happy that that they managed to have 16 issues in their run, because to her that was a very long run. And I'm like, are you serious? 100 issues is a long run, 50 issues is a long run, 16 issues is nothing. 16 issues, that's like 3 volumes in a graphic novel collection of a comic book run. 16 issues is like 2-3 runs. That's not a lot. But everything's going back to new #1s, and as I said, it's not surprising that they would pull this, even after lying to their fans once again that it was just going to be, like, this was the last time they were renumbering anything. They were going back to original numbering, and it was going to stay like that. And it didn't stick, obviously. I'm thinking about doing another video here soon about talking about how some of their recent SJW heroes would make great villains. And honestly, they're not even SJW, I mean just some of the stuff they've done recently, like the fanfic Mary Sue teen bitch Jean Grey, who is, in my opinion, is evil. because she's done evil things in whatever comic, X-Men Blue or whatever comic she's from. So that version of the character. Then there's like the crap like America Chavez being a brat. Then you have Iron Riri. I can't really think of any of the other characters, but those three have just been causing problems. But I'll probably do some more stuff eventually. I mean, that's one video I was thinking about doing, but I would have more stuff to say about Marvel Fresh Start, but not a lot has been revealed, and other than the numbering going back to new number ones. But it's pitiful that something that was once a great company, something that was once a great company for comics and had, was something that was different from DC but was still really successful, has fallen down the deep end, and it's sad. I mean, this is, obviously they're not going to lose anything from their movies, but that eventually, if their movies, like, if they end up having bad movies eventually, not saying they will, but if they do, this is going to come back to bite them if they don't have any sort of insurance with their comics. I mean, you could say this is what, like, the DC sort of did that with Rebirth. Well, then again, I don't know if, Rebirth, I've always thought that Rebirth was something that Geoff Johns may have had planned this whole time with, like, New 52, like, back in 2011, that they would rebirth and do new things with the characters while still keeping some old stuff that people liked. And I think Rebirth first came out, 2 months after BVS, so I don't think it was any of the crap that had anything to do with BVS. But Marvel has just been relying too much on those movies, and it's sad. I mean, it's really sad that, like, the roster, it's just like with Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, whatever, or Marvel versus Crapcom Infinite, that their entire roster, the entire Marvel side of the roster, except for Venom and sort of Nova, that is just MCU characters. I'm like, I don't care for Iron Man. I don't want to just see characters from the darn movie universe. I want to see X-Men. Fantastic Four would have been refreshing, because I don't even think Fantastic Four really had any games. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really have much else to say about this, except that relaunching again is just a weak ass move, and it shows, like, if they can't even keep their comics selling after 5 months, then relaunching to new number ones is the only way they would get sales. Eventually, I'm hoping people will stop getting these new number ones, because eventually, if they're going to keep doing new number ones every year, then the old new number ones, they'll probably eventually just get useless or not be worth as much. So maybe they'll stop relaunching once people stop paying and buying these new number ones. But I've just been going too much on this and talking too much about this, so that's about it. As I said, I might be doing a SJW Marvel Heroes video. I don't know. I'm still working on. I've been going off and on the Daredevil Season 1 review. I don't know if I'm going to actually... I know I really anticipate... I kept saying I was going to release it. I might just... If I can't... Sometimes I don't know. I guess I have trouble writing reviews. I just can't think of the right words or whatever. I might just end up doing maybe a Daredevil live stream where I just talk about Daredevil. And hopefully some of you, my subscribers, could join in, and you can ask questions about Daredevil. That would be fun. Anyway, so that's about it. This has been Crimson I guess Crimson Witch 26. I might be changing my name too. But this has been Crimson signing out. Bye.